having our coach back is really important. We actually suffered a lot. I feel like we go in like from home, we make a plan, and then we come to the stage, and then all of a sudden everything we ever practiced was like useless, and then we all of a sudden want to play new champions and stuff. Like, everything we practiced was just forgotten. So I also think like if you get thrown off a bit in Champions League, it's nice to have like an extra set of eyes and extra brain to figure out what to do.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is time to get into the final match of the day between the Copenhagen Wolves and H2K. And we just heard it there. Of course, Dentist is back. Let's take a look at the starting roster for the Wolves, who are on the blue side, with Youngbuck up top, Airwax in the jungle, Soren, Freeze, and Unlimited rounding out the team. We'll see whether or not their picks and bans and gameplay can improve with Dentist back. Last week, they had the fastest win of LCS this summer versus Elements, after a fairly slow and painful loss to Gambit. So you got this interesting sort of dichotomy here on the Copenhagen Wolves, where they either win very quickly or they take a very long time to get beaten.
Yeah, they take really slow punishments, deaths almost, like they roll over and die, whereas their victories are very snowbally in a sense. One time with the Draven, the other time against Elsman's really quick victory. So it shows the lack of strategic play in the Wolves. If they don't get ahead really far early, they can't snowball on individual merit and outplays, and then they don't seem to really, win any game.
Definitely not. Youngbuck on your screen, of course, struggling a little bit in the summer split, not really carrying. Freeze doing the best he can, but I want to touch on Soren for a brief moment, because Soren, he's doing what he can from the mid lane, but he's just simply not really carrying as hard as he possibly can. Look at the CS difference here between him and Ryu. Despite Ryu being down, you feel Ryu brings more utility to the team.
Yeah, Ryu, even though he's down CS on average a little bit, he brings so much, as you said, utility, because last week we saw him doing different things. One time he plays a TF, he dives into a fight, takes out the enemy mid laner with himself, but also trades beneficially for his team. The other game he plays the Lulu, plays incredibly strong utility. He does what his team needs, and this means that H2K become a triple threat composition, whereas Copenhagen Wolves, like you just said, Youngbuck not delivering enough, Soren kind of falling out of the meta a little bit, and then just not putting up enough CS numbers. Everything is on Freeze.
Yeah, let's actually talk about some of the other threats there from H2K, starting with their roster. First and foremost, Oda Wamnet, Lulix, Ryu, the man we've just highlighted, talked about his Twisted Fate and Lulu last week, Hyanin, Kissing, and Prol. I want to skip straight to this triple threat squad that we've been talking about for H2K. Ryu making his style work, but for me, these are the examples that we had from you a moment ago.
Every fight he would Destiny in, trade his life beneficially here, gets Fox immediately, follow up, from Kissing, and then they win the fight because the engage comes out of Ryu. He stays alive long enough. In this particular fight, Hjarnan was fed enough to solo Candy Panda, as he said, with a lucky crit. But yeah, that's pretty much what he did, and Ryu started so much for H2K. Didn't show in the numbers necessarily, didn't have the best stats because he died early in his fights, but he started fights that only could have went one way in H2K's favor, and that's just a phenomenal play, and he's finally catching his stride, finally getting into his element here over in Europe.
Well, taking down Elements last week for that very convincing victory. We're about to jump into picks and bans in a moment or two. And, I've heard the best AD carries get critical hits more often. It's what separates the top from the bottom.
True skill.
I very quickly want to touch on Hjarnan. Earlier this week, Forgiven put out an Ask FM set of questions and answers ranking all of the different AD carries. And he actually said Hjarnan was the #1 AD carry in Europe. Of course, it is an opinion shared by Forgiven and, well, just Forgiven's. But I think a lot of that is facilitated through Kissing and the fact that the team enables Hjarnan to position correctly and get away with his performances.
Yeah, whether you agree with his ranking or not, I think we have to name Hjarnan as one of the top 3 AD carries in the European LCS so far. Mostly because he's shown constant progression. Just the entire H2K squad has not set stagnant. Compare them to the Unicorns where they go up and down, up and down. H2K is grinding a steady line forward. In addition to good macro play, they also have solid drafts that make sense, and let's see if they make another draft here that makes a lot of sense, Trevor.
Well, let's talk about these bans. We saw Fnatic detouring from the standard, let's say, by banning out 3 supports. Today, it's no surprise to see Draven targeted to the Wolves. It's actually their most banned champion, 5 out of their 7 games. And Siva from Hjarnan, it's what he got was it 17 KDA last week?
And it's weird when you allow yourself to get counterbanned, when usually you have these one-trick ponies or these oddball champions. Usually it's very hard to ban them out because you have to ban so many meta things already. Because Copenhagen Wolves are not drawing enough meta bans on their own. H2K can comfortably just target the one man that has all the pressure on his shoulders. Freeze, immediate Draven ban, immediate Kalista ban. Copenhagen Wolves initiated the Sivir ban, which is really good against H2K. it really brings their style together, so I like it. And then all the rest goes to the other threat on the team. Odoamne getting his Fizz and his Rumble banned out. Might even see an early Maokai pickup for the Wolves here, because that seems to be one of the few champions Youngbuck is very comfortable on. Wolf Jungler's still up, so we can see a swap there. And H2K is saying, okay, Soren, you're most comfortable on Azir, we're just going to take that away. We have 2 bans on Freeze here. Let's see how this plays out.
We'll find out. What do Copenhagen Wolves prioritize? This is, of course, one of the big threats. You know, we touched on the whole Soaz and Huni comparison earlier. How teams ban Huni. They target ban Huni every game.
Oh, we forgot about Rise. I do this all the time.
They've target banned Freeze. We'll see who he gets his hand on. Rise is locked in.
Yeah, I probably should have remembered that. -1 for you, Krepo. Alistar is open.
Too.
It's likely we see that dropped in the first one.
I'm trying to run through the list now. Like, what else have we forgotten?
Don't forget about the OPs. Remember the Alistar. Could be a solid pickup. However, Kasing has proven to play other champions too. Perfectly do that.
It would also be his first Alistar of Summer. Played Annie, Janet, Morgana, and Thresh.
H2K traditionally goes Rek'Sai here because they seem to favor it over Gragas when they have the choice to pick any tier 1s. Usually Ryu would lock in early LeBlanc here too, which he got nerfed. But they must have left Rise open with a plan. Either maybe Cho'Gath coming out later, or they have a different plan to shut him down.
Well, that's Cho'Gath worked for Fnatic. For H2K, 3 games on that Rek'Sai for Lulexi will be locking it once more. He's got an 18 KDA on that champion. Extremely effective, and Kasing is going to stick to Thresh. So Alistar is up if Unlimited would like to go that route.
But why would you leave both Rise and... like, why wouldn't you just leave Rise and Kalista open? Because now you're giving away Rise. You're not picking Alistar yourself, so you're giving Alistar to Unlimited Raider. You can pick it up on this rotation as well if he wants. You're just giving up a lot of power picks here. Tier 1 jungler too. So Copenhagen Wolves have the makings of a potentially good draft. They just have to be wary of the counter pick. H2K with Probably should have an answer for this Rise. They should have a plan. Whether it's a lane swap and shut him down that way and just camp the hell out of him. Or maybe Echo Rek'Sai top lane. Try and shut him down.
I definitely think we have to step back. I mean, Airwax said last week that if Echo was free, he'd pick it instantly every game.
Yeah, but...
we'll see whether or not Dentist gives him permission to. Because we've also heard that players have gone on their own little rampages for champion picks in the last 2 weeks.
Ooh, new Jace. Got buffed a little bit. Echo, yeah? So, Echo over Jace. Gragas. Potential steal here, though. Because maybe they're afraid of if Odoamne has been practicing Echo top lane.
I really just want to highlight, I'm not seeing a whole lot of natural synergy here. Rise wants to be up front, Jace wants to poke.
They still
Echo needs a lot of setup, so we'll see if they can get there from their AD carry and support.
Yeah, but they can still mend it all together, you know. They're going to get the Alistar, and Alistar puts together pretty much any team comp, if they so choose to. Morgana's still open too if they want the Black Shield, but... poking mid laner right now. And then you have the Echo to go in with Disruption. I still feel Gragas would have been a better pick with these 2 picks, because you have more peel, more disengage.
I have to highlight, unless Odoamne runs that Gragas top lane like Cabochard has, this will be the first game in the summer split that Gragas does not get picked or banned in 4 weeks of gameplay. Not looking likely at this stage in the matchup, as that Jinx and Gnar will be the final lock-in. So Hyanin going to have a lot of ducking and dodging and diving required against the comp that Copenhagen Wolves has got together already.
Yeah, but he'll get to the laning phase pretty much unscathed, because there's so many threats out. You know, the strong individual AD carries are out. Draven and Kalista. Sivir's out too. So you're the hyper carry. Caitlyn's open, but Jinx is fine against the Caitlyn, especially when she's paired with a melee support. You know, Caitlyn doesn't have a big range advantage eventually over Jinx, because if she levels rockets, you know, that'll match out eventually. And melee support is not enough to punish you. And even if H2K choose to lane swap, they will just tear down through these towers quickly as well. So I like the Jinx pickup because it gets opened up due to the triple AD carry bans. Yes, you'll have to be careful, but I mean, Kasing peels well, Ryu peels well. But what is Ryu gonna go for eventually? Will we see a repeat Lulu like he did last time?
We'll find out in a moment or two. You can imagine the amount of peel they've got from the other positions. It wouldn't be too surprising. Ryu's Lulu last week ended up playing almost like an assassin. He ended 8, 2, and 11.
Yeah, because he got that quarter kill in mid lane and then walked in the tower and started taunting with his staff.
86% kill participation last week. I mean, fantastic performance. In my opinion, the best Lulu of the split.
I think he wants to LeBlanc, but he's not quite sure if it's going to work. It's tricky to play into like Alistar and Ryze, because one snare on your slow W gets you punished. So they're going back to a protected Jinx comp. This in the later stages, week 6, 7 of Spring Split, these got played a lot. A lot of these protected Jinx comps. And these are actually what H2K wants to do. Get slow and steady through the laning phase, group up for objectives, get the Jinx rolling eventually. However, they're facing an enormous late game threat on the Copenhagen Wolves. Ryze, Jace, and Caitlyn all scaled tremendously well into the late game.
I'm so scared of Soaring getting ahead. If he gets those Jace accelerated power blasts down, gonna put the hurting onto H2K. This 5'11", he has been tweaked. We'll touch on Jace in game, but H2K, it's all about getting Hjarnan ahead and keeping him ahead.
Yeah, but they can still shut down Youngbuck on the top lane too with the new Gnar. If he gets rolling, we saw last game, Gnar traditionally was like this, you know, tanky member that just built armor and built a lot of HP and just became unkillable. But right now, with the addition of the new Black Cleaver, we see a lot of damage potential coming out as well. If he gets the lead on Youngbuck and gets the camp from the Rek'Sai on the top lane, he can definitely snowball too and yet again became that triple threat with the utility from Ryu in the mid lane that we highlighted in the pregame. But finally, a good draft by the Copenhagen Wolves, and we've been waiting for this.
Yeah, they did say, we heard that it was, of course, getting the coach back on stage is going to help out. We'll see if it's going to have any impact on their in-game decision-making. They are running Jace, they are running Echo, they are running Ryze. All of these things are going to require a little bit more setup and slightly smarter positioning. Hashtag CW win, hashtag H2K win. Will CW pick up their third win of the split, or will H2K go 6-1?
Now, I wonder where Arax is going to put his priority, because I think that will decide a lot in this game. Because obviously the #1 priority for H2K is to get that Jinx ahead, get her rolling.
We know where the crowd's allegiances lie, Crepo. So we know
Weird way to spell Crepo, but
we know where the focus lies for both of these respective teams. My eyes are definitely going to be on Lulex's Rek'Sai. Again, he's won all of the games that he's played. If memory serves, this is the 4th time in 7 games. Slightly lower kill participation, but a much improved KDA.
now I would want to see normal lanes with Lulex starting on the weak side, so he can go for the gank later. Oh, hang on.
Freeze with an early...
Oh, the hook!
The death sentence connects! Kasing Kaching! He's got the flash, he's got the heal. Can he get the first blood? Boomerang
Still
Blade
flashes.
doesn't connect. Hjarnan with the rockets. Flash forward. One more!
Ooh.
It's secured by Erdoğan. And Hjarnan with a greedy flash doesn't secure. He gets knocked into Katawa. Kasing gets another one. Hjarnan's going to get an assist. Just the one. And H2K are already in the lead.
All right, that was a little funny. Not gonna lie. But fantastic hook by Kasing. Predicts a flash almost, because I think he started casting that hook right as the flash came out. Beautiful follow-up. Copenhagen Wolves get a little lucky that they get Hjarnan's flash for free at the end of it. But Odo Omni, this is big. He picks up first blood, gets some gold. If he can shop, he can get item advantage on the Ryze, but yeah. I like the swap. Keep the Ryze down early. Gnar with an advantage already. Experience advantage, you know. Can keep his own. H2K initiating a swap and starting on their weak side, and this is good for them. They want to shut down Youngbuck right now, because he doesn't double jungle all that well. Gnar double jungles a lot better.
We'll see how they decide to handle themselves. I touched on first bloods last game, Crepo. H2K 6 first bloods in 7 games.
And Unlimited was forced to start W as well. Like, no! Don't do that, Bob!
And we've also got to highlight, that's Odo Wamne's 3rd first blood picked up. You know, it's something that we keep looking at for H2K. We've always talked about how good they are between 10 and 20 minutes, but you never really realize how good they are in the laning phase. They actually hold. Oh, he's caught.
He wanted the wolf.
again.
He didn't want Aerox. He wanted that juicy wolf, but Aerox throws himself into the hook. He knows Kasing is alone. Knows Ignite is down, so he's good.
Well, wins just to get away unscathed, but I wanted to just highlight really quickly. First blood there, 4-1 there, we said that already. 3 out of their 7 games. And just to finish up the point, at 10 minutes, H2K have the highest average gold lead at 800 gold. So in the summer split, they're actually getting ahead during the first 10 minutes better than anybody else. And it's not something I personally feel or expected when we took a look at the numbers.
Yeah, they're just oh so consistent, because everybody was always, yeah, Fnatic, yeah, Origin, but right now H2K is up there, and with this victory, I think they can even jump over Origin to 2nd place. Trail Fnatic by 1 loss only. And yeah, this matchup in the mid lane, Not too much is going to happen here. You know, Pokey, sustain, lane push. Soren wants to scale, Rio wants to wave clear. All the thing that matters is who pushes who in this matchup. But Youngbuck, he's on 3 CS right now. He's level 2. He's going to the Dragon. This is what H2K wants. They're fine with sacrificing a Dragon if they can keep Oruamne with an experience lead somehow. They want to get him ahead of Youngbuck.
Seems to be working out thus far. H2K looks to be securing that tower in a moment or two. Did actually catch a glimpse there of Soren's Jace. He's gone Flash Cleanse. And I just want to highlight that rework Jace. The longer puts points into his ultimate, can get 6 ranks some of his core spells. And TLDR has a lot more damage and poke at max rank in that accelerated shock blast combo. So I want to see how good his accuracy is.
Yeah, he hits bigger spikes right now, the new Jace here. But that's for later. Let's look at what's happening right now. We see a different adaptation in the lane swap. Not the traditional mirrored 4v0 that we see. H2K take a tower and they trade it for a dragon. I don't like this freeze from Freeze either. Like, yes, he gets ahead in experience, but I don't feel he'll capitalize on that advantage. They bounced away for Oruamne. He's getting ahead of the Rise right now already. H2K, look at the gold already. Because early, I feel gold is more valuable than a dragon. Usually, what ends up happening in this mirror 4v0 is you trade 1 tower for 1 tower and a dragon, and an experience lead on the other side. But right now, trade a lot more in H2K's favor. Oruamne though.
A little bit of miscommunication. Unlimited knocks Oruamne away. Should still be able to secure the kill. Red buff plus the phase dive means Airwax rather. Manages to pick that one up.
Flame is lame. But Freeze is alone in the bot lane.
Freeze is getting dove. Teleport comes up from Youngbuck. I think it is too late. Kasing's going to eat 2 tower shots.
1.
Freeze is down. Yawning gets out of turret range. Lulix is now tanking the turret up. Yonan's looking for more. Lulix gets away. We did see Summoner heal used. Yonan! One
beautiful juggle by H2K. They punish Freeze. He didn't have a splash up from the first blood. We go back to minute 1. He died. It's not minute 6 yet. Flash is still down. Youngbuck's like, hey, I'm Youngbuck, I'm helping. Teleports in, but too little, too late. And oh my god, this is brutal.
So the average gold lead was 800 by 10 minutes. H2K are looking like they're going to get near a 3,000 gold lead at 6 minutes. They are 1 dragon down, which we'll talk about in a moment or two. Ryu's about to get jumped on. Parallel convergence. The batter swings, the batter hits, the batter stuns, and Unlimited's here to punish. Ryu goes down.
He holds his flash, that's good. Ryu knew he was dead there the second he saw the parallel convergence pop up. We saw Svenskr do the exact same thing. There seems to be a pattern that jungle echoes do. So if you're watching, go to the race, throw down parallel convergence, wait 1 or 2 seconds, dash over, go for the stun. Try and punish. Good move by Copenhagen Wolves, but only down 2,000 gold right now.
Ladies and gentlemen at home, if you're playing against a jungle echo and you're a mid lane, pay very close attention to that Wraith camp. 2 games in a row, we've seen it have an impact on how effective that dive is. And it's something that we're starting to learn as we begin to see more and more echo in the LCS in the hands of these players.
Yeah, I love that gank path. Really, really efficient. But Hjarnan, hyper carry, through 0-1, comfortable 37 CS. Doesn't lose his tower, prime position. And things are looking good because the gold's on the right people here. H2K, the only thing you could fault them for last week was potentially Oruamne overextending a little bit here and there. Happened again, but H2K always take something on the other side of the map. If you punish one side, they'll punish you on the other.
You have got to be kidding me! Kasing catches Freeze! He's gonna 90 caliber net away, but they're gonna set their sights on a limit. Sniped! Seeking the prey! Snagging the kill! H2K with their 4th kill of the game.
And this is why Kasing says, no thank you, I don't need that tier 1 support on Alistar. Get me Thresh, I will land the hooks, I will do the job. And yeah, we talked about the scaling from the Copenhagen Wolves, but scaling into the mid game, 3,000 gold down before 10 minutes. Tricky.
Scary place to be. And if Kasing keeps landing those death sentences, well, that's game over already. But H2K, they still need to press this one home. Ryu gets his hands on that blue buff. And let's also take a look at the CS between Youngbuck and Oruamne. Oruamne seems to have a little bit of control. Level 6v level 4 and 20 CS lead.
Yeah, but look at Freeze. We said he was the threat for Copenhagen Wolves. He was the one man that had to carry. Boots, double Dorans, 2 deaths. Flashes up, but he's afraid to go close to that lane in the bottom. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, this is what a lot of teams usually don't do. When they're freezing and they're playing passive, they lack the wave clear in mid, but H2K foresaw this. They have wave clear, so there's no pressure in the mid lane. Oruamne has some wards, he's relatively safe in the top lane. He doesn't have too many wards, but even if he dies, he doesn't lose much because he's pushing. So there's no way for the Wolves to punish H2K right now, even if they get a pick off. Meanwhile, they're growing and growing that gold lead. Freeze, he's jungling right now. He can't even touch the CS. And then once eventually that waves in the bottom stacks up, that wave in the top stacks up, they can move to mid, see if they can pressure the Jace.
So Odoamne caught between an Unlimited at level 3 and a Young Buck at level 5. And then you're able to make anything from that.
Yeah, they want to dive mid now.
You see that accelerated shock blast coming up from Soren. It hurts already.
Here's Lulex.
Lulex coming in. Flash very early. Respect from Soren. H2K now setting their sights on the tower. Look at Echo. He's sitting in the Wraith
He's not
camp.
clearing the wave either. He's trying to poke Yarnan.
Parallel convergence comes out. Airwax is going to phase dive in. He's going to not really get the shield up. Chrono breaks back to the jungle for safety. Yarnan with the rest of H2K putting a lot of damage on the tower. Not going to be able to pick it up just yet.
I really feel Copenhagen Wolves should prioritize wave clear over poke here. He was about 60% of that tower. Good opening from Airwax, but this time H2K learned. Very good adaptive team. They don't usually fall for the same trick twice. Conversions comes out and Ryu just sidesteps right outside of it, doesn't get stunned, and then tries to get out.
Well, we'll see how well they handle themselves. Airwax now being invaded on. Kissing holds the trigger finger. But look at the numbers. Copenhagen Wolves seem to actually have H2K surrounded.
Yeah, but this is the weakness of a Ryze in the early game. If you get lane swapped upon, you delay your item so much because you're playing with less resources. You start tier and then eventually you want Catalyst, and we're 10 minutes in the game right now. Let's take stock. Tier has been bought on Young Buck on Ryze. He has 29 CS. That's slow. Scaling goes too slow because they got punished in the early game. Playing with so much scaling and beautiful map movements from H2K. Beautiful pickoffs. 3,000 gold in the lead.
Beautiful game from H2K so far. But we said in the pre-game, the one person we were looking at was Soren. We know Freeze can carry, but he's been focused heavily. Soren is a shining light for the Copenhagen Wolves. Ahead in CS, has a kill, has a man immune, and actually has the ability to thwart H2K pressure.
Needs to keep the tower alive though.
How big is his backpack? How big is Soren's backpack? We should find out this game.
Lulex dashing over, Young Buck.
Odoamne is about to go Mega Gnar.
It's not gonna help him.
Both him and Lulex hold their flashes. Don't want to over-chase. Even Odoamne has learned from last week's...
Putting Ryu on the bot lane right now. They say, Yarnan, just go in the mid lane. This is what you usually do. If you're a little stuck in the mid game, you just put your mid laner on the bot lane if you can, and this allows you to put your AD carry in the mid lane, and you wonder why, what is he going to achieve? Because he's not really going to outpush a Jace. The thing is, it allows your support to play around your AD carry still, while still be in control of the map. Because now Kasing can go to the right side, to the left side. If he's stuck on the bottom lane on his own, then Yarnan is vulnerable, he can get caught. But because Yarnan goes mid, this opens up more movements for Kasing. So he gets some more vision, prepare that dragon, and Ryu is always fine in the bot lane. He has ulti, he has Whimsy, he still has flash, he can always escape. Copenhagen Wolves will have to commit more members to him, so good resource management from H2K here.
And the one thing I do want to mention about Yarnan is his item build. With that pickaxe Avarice versus the BF sword longsword, despite having that gold lead, still a while away from picking up that BF. Dragon has been started, H2K have position, teleport is available for Young Buck. I'm not really expecting Wolves to challenge. Airwax, can he steal? Can he go spend scare? And he's setting up.
Ryu knows, he's ready with the Hex.
Well, Dragon not going to get secured. Actually, Smite did come down though from Airwax, so...
He tried. Good try.
But
Young Buck's freezing the top lane right now, and this is what Copenhagen Wolves are doing. They yield the dragon to say, okay, we'll go for like a low % chance steal. Not commit to a fight. But the problem is their mid lane tower is low. And they're a man down here. Looking at a 5-man siege from H2K. If this was 100%, they could have held. But now, in a dive, the tower can fall, and they get punished for the freeze on top because it was their only play. If that tower was a little higher, maybe they could have defended it with 4-man underneath it. But they're trying desperately so to get their top laner back into the game. But it's costing them on the other side of the map. H2K will always try to punish you.
I remember talking about Copenhagen Wolves in week 1. Well, I remember you talking about them in week 1, about how they froze lanes and it ended up costing them objectives. Parallel convergence, not going to connect on H2K. They're going to keep pushing it. Dead sentence, but it is cleansed from Soren. Super Mega Death Rocket flies wide. Doesn't matter though, because Lulex gets in with a furious bite. Queen manages to pick up another kill. H2K steal the blue buff as well.
Yeah, and because the lane is not pushed out in the top lane, it opens up a very easy transition from mid lane into the blue buff area. Warded up now because Freeze is on the bottom. H2K find a way to use their numbers advantage to capitalize on it, and they get more gold and pressure and buffs from those map movements than they lose on the frozen lane on the top lane. And this is why freezing you see less and less in the current metagame, because teams have gotten better at punishing it and getting advantages somewhere else on the map. Usually, back in Season 2, teams would freeze a wave and you would see the AD carry posture there and be like, guys, can't touch my creeps. Guys, help me. Then eventually you saw the likes of SK say like, oh, you're freezing bot lane, I'll just move middle lane, I'll take your tower. You deny me 2 waves, I deny you a tower. Your move.
Game has evolved past that stage, and H2K definitely in control. We see Odo now. I want to highlight his Gnar play, because I distinctly remember the last time he played Gnar. He went for that Black Cleaver build, was one of the first. Ended up dealing 856 damage per minute to champions, which is more than double the next highest Gnar performance. I think he's going to go tankier this game, but Odo in Summer is really showing how you can carry from that top lane. His Rumble is phenomenal. It was banned out this game.
And look at the vision control. In a lot of these games, to really highlight or illustrate how far a team is ahead, you shouldn't look at the gold count, but you should just ask yourself, when's the last time Copenhagen Wolves have crossed the river? When's the last time they've contested a Wraith camp, a Wolf camp, put any ward across the half-point line? And when's the last time H2K had to do anything defensively in their jungle? They're making Copenhagen Wolves' jungle their own. They have more wards in there than the Copenhagen Wolves do themselves. They're constantly pushing these lanes. They're in complete control of the game.
Pressing home that advantage. 15 minutes down, 5,000 gold in the lead. Kian 2-0 and 3. Getting closer and closer to that Infinity Edge. Just really good performances. Limited really didn't like that minion.
Nope.
But we do see Odo there. He actually picked up that pickaxe, so going to head himself towards that frozen mallet. Maybe we will see a Black Cleaver next. I certainly hope so.
He can, yes.
But I don't think he's going to out-damage Jan in this game.
At this point, he can do whatever he wants. He can, you know, take the frog and maybe approach, close his eyes, throw a dart at the item board and say, okay, I'm building this, because he's such a big lead right now. And meanwhile, Youngbuck on Rise, he's still scaling. He's still working towards that Rod of Ages. Just bought the blasting one. His next phase likely to go 2 or 3 minutes from now. That's going to be like an 18 or 19 minute Rod of Ages. Spikes at 29 minutes. Game might be over by then.
Well, if H2K have anything to do with it, it certainly will be. You see H2K just keeping the pressure on in multiple lanes. Odo has gone back top. Does not have teleport. Another 25% of its cooldown, whereas Youngbuck does. But look at the support from H2K roaming up top too.
And you see H2K, they're not too fussed. They don't want to overcommit on these tier 2 towers. As I say that, Ulex might get caught.
Well, we'll see. He's managed to make his way out with the tunnel. Odo got rooted in place. Youngbuck's trying to run him down.
Look at bot though, numbers advantage there. They don't want to overcommit because they're fine whittling down chip by chip on these towers and eventually just taking the entire jungle. Deny them the Wolves, deny them the Wraiths. The Raptors, they're calm now.
Tower number 4. Youngbuck's going to teleport in. Flame Chompers comes out.
Zap.
Zap's going to connect. Flash! Reply Flash! Kasing has been denied for the first time this game, I feel.
But opens up the catwalk out of there and then mid push, top push. You just use your teleport resource to only end up flashing out. Desperate move. And Copenhagen Wolves in good punish. They lose a little more of their top tower right now.
Desperate times call for desperate measures. This is going to turn into a 2v1. Ewax, his support's coming, but it's going to be late.
A little bit too much though.
Up under the wall. Lulex is going to be putting the damage down, spinning and winning, but he's dashing away. Got a tunnel out to safety. Odo is burned through the Mega Gnar. Does have flash available. Boomerang goes out. Ewax forced a chrono break to safety. Ignite, and some more damage will pop that Hex shield.
Gonna see a rocket.
Did need to flash.
Johnny.
Is it going to hit? Is it going to hit? Is it going to hit? Even if it does. Oh, yeah. Smiley face. Still
I
counts.
expected more.
Still counts.
Still counts.
Wow. Always disappointed, Crepo.
Hey man, I want the highlight reel.
So does Yonin. That's why he fired the shot.
But yeah, again, pressuring on all fronts, and this reminds me of what SK was trying to do earlier, you know? Pressure on all fronts. If the enemy commits to punish you in one, you just back off and you start pushing on the other. Split push to its finest here. H2K, they don't care that the towers are falling slow because they're continuously denying resources, continuously putting deep vision. They're in full control of the game and they have full information. H2K is a team that plays well with information. They usually don't get caught out if they see the enemy coming. And they make calculated moves on it. It's showing why they're currently second place in the LCS.
They win this game, they will go 6-1. And it's going to set them up with a match against Fnatic to challenge for first. And I want to quickly quote what Lulik said right at the top of the show. At the end of that Fnatic vs Origin hype video.
They still have to face H2K.
Correct. Great Lulik's impersonation. As with the help of Beyond and Kasing, they get their second dragon.
I love Lulik as a personality. There's a bit of a trolly approach, but if you get to know him well, he's a really funny guy, so I hope to see more of him in these interviews. Because he's always in the shadow. He didn't have the most stellar performances in Spring, but he does what is needed from his team. Shadows his lanes, puts them ahead. He's like a Rain over Light, to an extent.
Rain over Light. Well, for the time being, 2-0-2 is helping H2K hold this lead. We're getting closer to 20 minutes. That gold lead and that control that we come to expect from H2K is definitely in play.
And they can just keep doing this for the next 4 or 5 minutes.
1-3-1 non-stop.
And then take down a dragon. Because they're always, every time they back off, they leave the Wolves in darkness. Look at how the Wolves have to fight for vision control around their red buff, you know, around their 2-2 towers. Eventually, they peel off, take a dragon. Eventually, later, they peel off, take a Baron. And then they start taking down these towers. Slow and steady wins the race. Slow and steady eventually takes the base.
Copenhagen Wolves cannot handle the amount of pressure that's being applied. Eventually, that top tower falls. That's the 4th tower. Copenhagen Wolves yet to apply pressure on the H2K outer ring.
It's so frustrating to play against this style because you're constantly fighting for small advantages on your side of the map. I've played against teams that are really adept at split push, and you just get punished for being behind in the early game. Just can't knock Kjarnan out of that lantern. Every time you move a couple of your people to one lane, just back off, go in on the other one. Tower falls.
They're never alone. Every time we see them putting pressure, there's always somebody else filtering into the lane from the jungle.
Because of the deep vision, it allows them to rotate in very efficient paths. They can almost get between towers quicker than the Copenhagen Wolves can, because they have to be afraid of entering their own jungle, so they have to take the safe path, go by their base, try and predict where H2K is going, and then eventually the hook connects.
Predict the hook, and once more Kasing. Oh, look at that poke though. Last Whisper Brutalizer when a Shock Blast hits. However,
game was even.
There you go.
It would have been big, but
that's what, 1 Shock Blast in 6 minutes?
Ooh. Seeing with the calculations there.
He held strong. I'm not sure I would have
if a Jason port A throws a Shock Blast, exactly D's velocity. Will I finish my base? Yes.
Mega Gnar coming in.
Focusing though.
Will he find anything? Does land the house. Soren's gonna at least get some distance. Mega Gnar slowly timing out.
I don't think so. It doesn't matter though. Just want to zone them out, get a free dragon here. 3 dragons to 1 again. And this will facilitate what they're doing even more. 5% extra movement speed. Definitely go easy.
Minute 2 before it spawns though, Crepo.
Yeah. Mistook it for Baron. My bad.
Talking about Baron, with the amount of control H2K have, at any point they may be able to stop playing the Baron bait game.
They don't have to yet. It's too early. That's the only way they can lose this game, because some weird ward hidden somewhere by Copenhagen Wolves. Youngbuck teleports in, you know, Airwax, Feral Conversions, face dives in. You know, suddenly you lose a couple of kills, you lose the Baron. That's the only way you really lose control of the game. Because if you're constantly pushing, even if you die, you put Copenhagen Wolves in a position where they're so far away from an objective. And usually what you want is you want to get a kill and translate that into an objective. And if you push them into their base, you can lose 2 or 3 members on your team. By the time Copenhagen Wolves have pushed towards your tower, you've already respawned. That's why it's so hard to come back from an efficiently played 1-3-1.
And we see Copenhagen Wolves clearing out the vision around Baron. Alex is coming in with that Void Rush. Lands a Prey Seeker, and Alex is actually looking for a fight. Teleport's not available for Oduam there. It was used in that failing game previously, and Ryu's not with the team.
It doesn't have to be.
Copenhagen Wolves feel like they've got a little bit of play.
Because there's no hard engage on the Copenhagen Wolves side. Parallel Convergence face dive is very telegraphed if you see it. If you see Echo coming, and then obviously Alistair Flash Pulverize combo, yes, it can connect, but with enough vision, it's impossible for the Wolves to engage straight up. They need a flank, and obviously we'll never get flanked as H2K if you have this amount of vision control. See, Rio brings his ward. He's knocking on the inhibitor by now. H2K do the same thing, and even if they die right here, there's no counter objective from Copenhagen Wolves.
So let's see what Airwax can do. Gianna's taking the turret aggro, actually. That's a big critical hit onto Airwax. We didn't see the shock blast connecting, though, onto Gian, and tower is down to 20%. Kasing, death sentence is not going to connect, but he's going to follow it through. He's going to play Sora, and the box connects as well. Unlimited going to have to pop that Unbreakable Will as Lulex gets knocked backwards. The Super Mega Death Rocket gets one more, and Kasing connects with another death sentence. Giannan with a double kill turns onto Freeze as Ryu got his first one of the game. Oduwamne, he wants to join the kill party. 4 members of the Wolves are down, and H2K set their sights at the inhibitor turrets.
And eventually they spring the trap. Ryu from the left, Oduwamne from the right. They take down everybody on Copenhagen Wolves' side, except for Airwax maybe. And then take down the mid tower, take down the mid inhibitor. Look at the goal lead right now. 12,000. Systematic destruction. Let's watch that again. Look what Kasing does. He says, all right, eventually I'm going to hit a minion, I believe. This is later. No, this is... No, he gets Airwax initially. Okay, then he plays Airwax. We're not overcommitting because we know Airwax can go back in time. Now Kasing, he's going to hit that hook on the minion. And then Soren says, okay, you missed me. Kasing says, no, I'm just going to play you in box. You force your flash. Soren has to be on the defensive, and this is enough zone for Yarn. He can continuously auto-attack in this fight. Nobody is threatening Yarn at all, and if he does, Ryu still has his ultimate. He could take down his tower, but they don't even care because Oduwamne is tanking it eventually. Good turret management right here as well, and such a calculated play by H2K, and nobody's threatening the Jinx. In a Jinx like hyper carry composition, and then yeah, things are looking dire.
How can they? Youngbuck at the moment, 40 CS down. His Rod of Ages has only got 6 stacks. 25
just
minutes.
A couple more minutes, guys.
You know, despite the power that Soren has, you just don't see it. Copenhagen Wolves are being pulled in so many angles, in so many ways. They simply can't. Look at this, H2K, they're in the Baron pit. They've got Super's middle.
Look at the vision, though.
Oduwamne on Dragon, this is so safe.
Yeah, look at the amount of brushers that the Wolves will have to face check to even get to the Baron. And then what? Just die. Very reminiscent of the game they played against Gambit last week. There was just no comeback potential, no catch-up. Slowly just getting pushed in to a very weak early game. And I think a lot of praise goes to Kasing. Opening hook on Freeze, got the first spot. Then Freeze finds himself alone in the bottom lane. Another straight up connected hook because Kasing timed the flash. He knew there was no flash on Freeze. Youngbuck comes in trying to defend. Good turret juggling, dies again. Ever since, H2K in a big lead. Airwax now.
Down!
Gonna need a couple of ultimates to dash back in time.
Lulex takes him out, so while that was going on, we did see a tower.
Oh, he's cancelling the bases.
He's going to cancel the bases. H2K now on the top inhibitor turret. Giannan with a 3-man Mega Death Rocket. They get him. Youngbuck eats a hook once more. Kasing, he's put on the aimbot for this battle. And he set his sights on the Nexus turret. Oduwamne, he's teleported in 26.5 minutes. Unlimited pops the Unbreakable Will. Kasing is getting chunked out by the acceleration blast, but it's not going to be enough. Unbreakable Will wears out. Oduwamne, Kasing, and Lulex run him down. Giannan gets the kill with the help of Ryu.
It's not about the KDA, it's about the message.
And with this victory, H2K will be holding on to 2nd place in the summer split. They set themselves up with a match of the week battle against Fnatic next week. And what a phenomenal performance from H2K from start to finish.
Karen said it. Kasing. Every time if you ask him, why are you performing so well? What changed with H2K? Kasing. And it seems to work. Forgiven rated him #1 carry by Hyar. And it's showing. H2K comfortable building a composition around him in the Jinx. But at the same time, usually when you see this 180 carry, you know, hyper carry composition, all the attention goes towards that. But it doesn't, because even though Ryu plays utility, he provides what he has to do. You know, he goes to the bot lane, he split pushes, and then in the times he still in the mid fights, he still provides that utility. Oduwamne, he's the tank, he's the peel, but he gets so far ahead that he can build Frozen Mallet, Maw of Malmortius, offensive Gnar, more pressure, and eventually you can't even touch the Jinx in fights because you can't deal with the protection.
No Black Cleaver today for Oduwamne, but he simply did not need it. Copenhagen Wolves, some broken looks on their faces, but Broly's a very happy man. his team performing exceptionally. The thing is, that first blood and that death sentence very early on just accelerated the game. And H2K played around so well. I feel, though, even without it, the way they were moving between lanes,
it just made it easier. I think the crucial point was just a lane swap. They managed to shut down Youngbuck. And we saw this adaptation from the Wolves where they decided to freeze the bottom lane and get freeze ahead, but same time Youngbuck, usually when you go 4v0, you speed up the lane swap process, and eventually around 40 CS on your AD carries, the game stabilizes and your top laners match against each other. And Youngbuck can get back into the game, but the way this early lane swap played out, they got a tower on the side of H2K. Yeah, the Wolves got a dragon, but who cares? You know, you get that tower, you get that aggressive control. You know, the one they got the wave bounced, he even got ganked, he got punished. Still stayed ahead of Youngbuck the entire game. Then Freeze finds himself alone in the bottom lane. Yeah, teleport comes in too late, 2 kills on Kjarn, and tower goes down, and then yeah, the game was pretty much over. You can't afford to do that against a team like H2K.
No, definitely not. And such a good game. So with Origin losing earlier today, with H2K winning, we have a very clear 1-2-3 in the standings. And number 2 will face number 1 next week in our game of the week. Fnatic versus H2K. I'm spoiling it for everyone, but I don't even care. Because that is going to be a great matchup. But it's a very different clash of styles. Fnatic maybe a little more aggressive, H2K maybe a little more calculated. We'll talk more about that a little later. We do have to get side stage for an interview with H2K's Lulex.
Thank you very much, Quickshot. I am, of course, joined by Lulex, now in the second place H2K squad. Congratulations on your victory. But first, I wanted to ask you a little bit about your game plan, because you guys always seem to execute it exceptionally well. How does that happen?
Well, honestly, it's just a lot of practice. Like at the beginning of the spring split, I think that strategically we're not really strong, but I mean, week after week with Proli helping us, I think, yeah, we become really strong strategically.
So a big part of it is Proli. I wanted to ask you guys too, something that he's not really able to get involved in. When you make those plays, it's Kasing going in, it's you diving in, and everyone just seems really in synchronization. What are your comms like? Who's the person who's making those calls?
Oh, it's usually the one engaging. Like, let's say Kasing is about to hit a hook, he's going to tell us, and then we're all ready to go.
Wow, so it just kind of varies from person to person. All right, I really like that, actually. Another thing I wanted to ask you about is your item builds, because we've seen, obviously, in the jungle, most junglers have had a really set path, except Rek'Sai. We've seen Warrior on some, we've seen Cinderhulk on others. What is your take on the difference, and why do you prefer one over the other?
Honestly, on Rek'Sai, it's just what you want. Like, if you snowball early game, going for Warrior Enchantment is fine, because then you get a lot of damage and some CDR, but if you don't get early kills, then just play it safe and go for Cinderhulk and just be tanky and at least be useful in teamfight.
It's a nice thing to have multiple ways to go, multiple paths to go. So with that, you guys are second place. Congratulations on that one. You can go ahead and join your team as we're ready to wrap this one up. We're going to send it back over to the analyst desk. So guys, take it away and close out the day.
Thank you so much. His team is invisible. He's still going to join him. They're backstage after that win.
They're celebrating.
They're celebrating, indeed, as they should, because what an incredibly strong showing from H2K once again. And, well, you said it as well as the cast we were reiterating here. Well, after the lane swap, there wasn't really a lot that Copenhagen Wolves could do.
Yeah, I think the lane swap was really smart, like to counter the Ryze. Ryze had like 15 CS at 8 minutes when Nar had 45, and Caitlyn as well, like outside of laning phase for the next 10 or 15 minutes. She has this like power hole. She's about as useful as nipples on a man. So they just grouped and used the advantage, get all the outer turrets really fast.
Yeah, let's not go into the debate of usefulness of nipples, but yeah, for the other points, I definitely agree there. It's a beautiful analogy there. But yeah, keeping the Ryze down was crucial for H2K to win this game, and then they snowballed it. They kept Freeze down. He got a CS lead early, but then they eventually said, well, you're not farming for the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, there's very few teams in the European LCS that are as good at the macro game than H2K. I think you could put a very strong argument for saying they are the best macro team in Summer so far.
Yeah, and I feel that it is very, very interesting looking how the standings are, well, going right now. I'd love to get them up on the screen because, as said, Fnatic is still undefeated up there. But very interesting what is developing beyond that, because first we said so many middle-of-the-table teams, but it seems to me that one of them is going to have to step up to be that only middle-of-the-pack team. And what is going to happen on the top, Crepo?
Well, I'm just looking at Gambit is suddenly in 5th place again, 3 and 4, and then 2 weeks ago, everybody's like, yeah, Gambit's done. It's not working.
Maybe we're saying they might turn it around.
Yeah, well, we said that hopefully, you know, a complete mirror of last split as well. Just had troubles coming into the first week, no internet, no coach. Eventually they get a coach, and like, all right, it's looking better. Second week, even better, and yeah, everybody else is dropping the ball a lot. I feel there's a lack of progression in a lot of these teams.
I definitely find there's a big variance in teams' performances, especially when you look at the teams from sort of 4th through 10th, 5th through 10th. Every single game, you could argue it's different people on stage because there's such a different set of abilities and calls and champions. So I definitely think things are still stabilizing, but you've got a very clear top 3 and then everyone else.
Yeah, super, super interesting. With today's games on the books, though, let's see how they'll impact your fantasy team. It really depends on whether or not you have Reckless, who scored 8 kills and 9 assists without a single death to earn a total of 33 points, the highest of any player today. He said himself, hey, I don't think I was carrying, but it does look like it.
Yeah, well, behind every great AD carrier, however, is a fantastic support player, and definitely so in Yellow Star. He kept Reckless alive in so many fights every time, Flash Monsoon, and then, yeah, Reckless, if he has the safety, if he feels comfortable in his team and he has the people around him that he trusts, he is not afraid to go aggressive, and he can start hopping forward, and he played phenomenally well, but I really feel Fnatic just was a team effort, and that eventually manifested in the 8-0-7 score that he ended up finishing the game with.
Yeah, Reckless is exactly the kind of player, like when he has a strong team around him, he can perform really well, which we didn't see in Elements. But back in Fnatic when we were actually really good.
See you.
He was really good when we were performing as well.
Yeah, fantastic commentary there.
Yeah. Well, anyway, you guys mentioned as well, it's the team around them. Also, Yellow Star, well, the Fnatic AD carry, he was busy topping the leaderboards, but his duo partner, Yellow Star, was making the big plays against Origin. We have a tweet from @Derush writes, whoa, Yellow Star's shield and Monsoon over the wall to save Reckless was absolutely godlike. Here's your LCS big play of the day.
Where can Reckless get away? He's been stunned up. Niels is going to be able to get one reply. And Yellow Star keeps him alive. Monsoon!
In the bottom right of your screen, Yellow Star here, shield. And Monsoon knocks Niels back, so that's a displacement crowd control effect. In addition to that, it heals Reckless enough for him to escape.
Oh.
I think that was fantastic. It was great to watch. I do think there is one person that's one-upped that today, and it's Cyanide with his LCS big word play of the day, because this is just a fantastic end to Thursday.
Yeah. No, but more attention, right? Anyway, of course, there's more LCS on tap tomorrow when we'll get going with SK Gaming versus Roccat. H2K will take on Giants, followed by the Wolves versus Fnatic. Any special matchup you're keeping your eye on? I like SK versus Roccat, our very first game of the day. SK finally with a win up there, and Roccat, well, Mr. Rallis still has something to prove in that lineup, maybe still gelling.
Yeah, I think tomorrow it's very important to note how well the bottom of the table teams perform. We don't have any massive marquee top of the table defining bouts. So with that in mind, we get to see another shot, another chance of these teams who have been struggling in summer and see whether or not they can stabilize.
Yeah, it's developing very interestingly. You guys are giving each other the eyes. What's going on there? Anyway, as always, the action begins on Friday, 6 p.m. Central European Summertime. That is 9 a.m. Pacific. Until then, it's about time that we go back to base and get ready for tomorrow's games. A big thanks to Cyanide for helping out on the desk.
Thank you, Cyanide.
Thank you so much.
Quality insight.
And on behalf of myself, a quick shot, Crepo, and the entire LCS team, thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you on Friday, same time, same place.
The teams that Giants are currently beating are predominantly losing. So let's see how Giants are going to handle themselves.
Betsy moving around the side, and he picks him up. Audrey's gone down, and now the wild growth on Betsy as the equalizer is thrown down. Is the cow thrown in? Diamond Brox jumped down, taken down by Audrey, but Giants are going to pay dearly. Gambit Gaming pick up another. Rocket, no, they have to back away. Dexter going to force it. Nuked up, evaporated. In comes JWoww, but he's got nothing to do.
Damn, that feels good, man.
Damn, it feels good to be a gangster.
Damn, it feels good to be a gangster.
And Elements will seal Rockat's fate.
Forced to get that heal from Mikhail to try and make his way out. Parallel converts it into a 4-man Gnaw against the inhibitor.
Go, towers. Nexus. Kill tower.
Yeah, nice. Good job, guys.
And SK break their losing streak.
Do you want to be on Reddit?
No, I don't want to be more famous.
All right.
Who need the puni?
You're famous to me, who need the puni?
Hey, Capo, you need the vision.
I need what?
Hey, Capo, you need the movement speed.
Hey, Forgiven, wake up.
Hey, wake up.
Yes, Mega Death Rocket gets one more, and Kasig connects with another Death Sentence. Yonan with a double kill. With this victory, H2K will be holding on to second place. Is coming in with the onslaught of Sharon. Baron is going low. Explosive blast comes down and secured by Huni. Fnatic get the first Baron of the game.
I
can pull you, I can pull you.
I see her. No,
Pull. We can. Of course we can. Go. Nice.
They will take down Origin and hold on to first place.